zip-a-dee-do-da. Home sweet home is the lesson today. Zip-a-dee-do-da, zip-a-dee-do.
Hello, you're watching Disneyland Tips and Tricks. I'm your host, Charisma82, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Disneyland ride Splash Mountain. Splash Mountain is a log flume ride located in Critter Country in Disneyland. It opened July 17, 1989. The ride is 87 feet high, is more than 2,800 feet long, which equals out to about a half a mile, and lasts about 10 minutes. It has 4 main pumps that pump 20,000 gallons of water per minute into the ride. Splash Mountain's highest drop is 52 feet, which is about 5 stories high, and the drop goes as fast as 40 miles per hour. This ride has a height requirement of 40 inches. Splash Mountain is based on the stories, songs, and characters from the 1964 Disney movie called Song of the South. Imagineer Tony Baxter decided to build Splash Mountain to serve 2 main purposes for Disneyland. One was to attract guests to the bare country land, which was often bare and empty. The second was to make use of the audio animatronic animals from the Old America Sings attraction, which closed in 1988. Splash Mountain was first named Zip-a-dee River Run by Baxter, but was later renamed Splash Mountain by Michael Eisner to help promote the Disney movie Splash. At the time it was built, Splash Mountain cost $75 million and was one of the most expensive projects created by Walt Disney Imagineering. Splash Mountain features 3 songs from the animated segments of the film Song of the South. They are How Do You Do? Everybody's Got a Laughin' Place. And Zip-a-dee-do-da.
Zip-a-dee-do-da, zip-a-dee-do. Home sweet home is the lesson today.
The Disneyland version of the ride also has the song Burro's Lament. There are 2 other Splash Mountain rides besides the one located in Disneyland. One is in Disney World and the other is in Tokyo Disneyland. These other 2 versions are very similar to each other but differ from the one in Disneyland. The most notable change is that the Splash Mountain rides in Disney World and Tokyo Disneyland have a Western feel to them. They also seat 2 in a row in a 4-row log, making it a total of 8 passengers per log instead of having single seating for up to 6 people in the Disneyland version. Disneyland Splash Mountain is also the only ride to have the song Burro's Lament. In Tokyo Disneyland, the songs How Do You Do and Zip-a-dee-do-da are in Japanese, but Everybody's Got a Laughin' Place is still in English. So, onto the line. The most important thing I can stress in this video today is that you need to get a fast pass if you want to get on this ride. This line is probably the longest line at Disneyland that you're going to have to wait for, probably besides Space Mountain, or probably about the same amount of time depending on what time of the year you go. If it's the summer, you're probably going to wait even longer because it's a water ride. Yes, Splash Mountain is a water ride, in case you didn't get that from the name of it. So you want to get a fast pass. My family, we always get fast pass. We've gotten a fast pass since before I can remember for this ride. I can't remember the last time I actually waited in the full line, just because there's no way we would ever wait in the full line. It's just too long. If you want to know how long you're going to have to wait for the ride, there's always the option of going to the board at the front of Disneyland, and it'll tell you how long you're going to have to wait. But I can already tell you it's going to be over an hour, could possibly be 2 hours. There's just me stressing this the most. Get a fast pass. If you don't know what a fast pass is, look it up in one of my other videos. Okay, so I'm trying to recall where the line starts if you don't get a fast pass. Now, see, since I haven't waited in the long line, like literally years and years ago was the last time, I can't remember exactly where the beginning of the original line begins. It's somewhere outside. I've talked to some people and we've tried to decide where it is, but we've come to the conclusion that, okay, whenever you're walking towards the ride, say you're over by the Haunted Mansion, you're walking over to Splash Mountain, you can see the people coming down the drop. Okay, there's a bridge the people go under when they come down the big drop. You can't miss the big drop. Okay, that bridge, it's before that bridge. There's like a garden area And that's where the line starts. There's a sign that'll say this is where the line starts. It's just been so long since I've actually waited in the long line that I don't remember the exact place where it starts, but it's somewhere around there. You can't miss it, I'm sure, if you see the sign. So anyway, whenever you get in the long line, you're going to wait outside for a while. So hopefully you wore a lot of sunscreen if it's the summertime, because you're going to be outside for a while. Eventually you walk past the ride. You can see people riding on the logs in different places. Eventually you're going to come to a barn. This is where the fast pass comes in handy, because this is, if you have a fast pass, this is where you get to get in line. You don't have to wait outside for that whole long amount of time. You get to get on right now at the barn. Now the barn is across from Winnie the Pooh, the Winnie the Pooh ride, the Mini Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. Across there you can see a barn where people are lined up near Splash Mountain. And that's where you turn in your fast pass, and the smart people will do that and go through the barn. Okay, so starting from here, I actually remember what the line's like. You go ahead, you give the people your fast pass, and you go into the barn. The barn has like pictures of animals in it, I think, maybe one or two, not a whole bunch, and it has a fireplace in there. But if you're fast pass, you don't even really get to look at this very long, because fast pass is in a separate line from, say, the line that waited the regular time, which is different from other rides. Other rides, they incorporate you in, the fast pass people, into the regular line. Not this one. You get your own special line, and you can literally run through this line for a while before you have to stop and actually wait. So you go through the barn. You're going to make a turn, and you're going to have to go up a bunch of steps. And once you go up all the steps, you're going to go through a couple of hallways. Now, be careful. One of these little hallways up the steps, they have a place where it goes down 3 steps once you go down one of the hallways. Some people don't pay attention to this, and they fall. I'm not joking. People fall down these stairs, especially when you're running through the line, because you got fast pass. Be careful. There are 3 steps that go down. You will fall if you don't look for them. Hopefully you look for them. It's kind of embarrassing if you fall down a couple of steps. People laugh at you in the line next to you. Anyway, another reason why I've heard people fall down these steps is that why they're not paying attention is not just because they're stupid, but there's things on the walls that you can read that tell you the story of Brer Rabbit, because this ride is about Brer Rabbit, as I've already stated before. So you're going to go through these hallways. Eventually, you're going to go through the little turnstile, and after you do that, you're going to come up to like a cavern-looking place, and this is the second part of the line, not including the outside part, I guess. So you go through the cavern part, and when you go through the cavern part, or I guess it might be an animal burrow. I don't know why they put a cavern in the Splash Mountain ride. Anyway, so you're going to go through. If you're standing in the left line, if you're fast pass, you're in the right line, so sorry you don't get to see this, but I mean, it's not a big deal. On the left side, if you look out while you're going through the cavern, there will be a hole, and you can see in this hole part of the ride that's going on. You get to see Brer Rabbit sitting and singing one of the songs from the ride, so I guess that's kind of cool, but not so much if compared to seeing that, waiting in the long line, and going through the fast pass. Go through the fast pass. Alright, so once you go through that, you're going to go down, walk down a hallway in the caverns, and then finally, eventually, you're going to see people boarding on the logs. And so finally, you reach the logs, and you've come to the end of the line.